This is the Mycological Association of Washington. I'll be giving a short introduction of some of the things that we're doing with the club, and then I'll also talk about a little bit on the programs upcoming and then some fungi in the news. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. So today is Groundhog Day, and I thought it'd be appropriate to start with why that is. And I decided, since this is about mushrooms, we should talk about two of our prominent tooth fungi that are typically have names. Hedgehog, Hericium marinaceus, you've probably seen that. It's usually called satyr's beard or hedgehog mushroom. I think I came up with bearded hedgehog, combining the two, but that's okay. It's got lots of names. And then the other one is a hydnum, which is also, if you turn it over, in the middle there, it shows the teeth. So why do we use the groundhog for Groundhog Day, and what has hedgehog got to do with it? Well, and why is it February the 2nd? So if you haven't noticed, it's called a quarter point. It's midway between the winter solstice and the vernal equinox, which means it's the time to decide whether you're going to plant or not. So historically in Europe, they would look for hibernating animals, and when they came out, they would decide that.
Turned down.
I'm sorry. I heard someone talking. I'm assuming you can hear me okay. The hedgehog was the animal of choice. There were others, but when the Europeans came to this country, there were no hedgehogs. We don't have hedgehogs. We have groundhogs. And of course, the reason was back then they would know whether it was a spring was early, because the hibernating animals would sense this and they would come out. And it makes a lot of sense. I don't think the groundhog was ever used at first, but it is also a hibernating animal. So why the mushrooms are named hedgehog and not groundhogs? Because they probably got their name originally in European parlance, and it was brought over here. And so even though we don't have the hedgehog, we have hedgehog mushrooms. And by the way, if you don't think the quarter points are relevant, the one between fall and winter, we know this is All Saints Day, All Hallows Eve, and the one in spring is May Day. There's not one in August, so if you're looking for a new one, that's up for grabs. We could come up with a mushroom. Perhaps that would be a great festival. We might think about putting that on our website too. So here's the board. I'm the president. Elizabeth, you heard from just a moment ago, is the program first vice president. The program chair is Tom. He'll be up here also. And Mitch Fournier, our 4A chair, will also talk. The other members are there. If you want to contact any of the members, you can type in these names, first vice president and at MAWDC.org, or just info@MAWDC.org, and I get that and I send it to people. So if you can't remember, you can do it that way. So our programs that we have scheduled so far, the first one tonight is listed. I'll talk about that as I close here. In March, we're going to initiate morel season, which is, normally late March through early May, depending on the, ecology and all kinds of factors. So we're going to do morel cookery, and then a panel discussion on morels with cooking as sort of a companion. And then in May and June, we'll go into some other interesting things. They're on our website, and they're already ready to be put on your calendar. So a couple meeting notes. You all probably got an email from our treasurer, Matt Cohen, and that was to announce our financials as required by our bylaws. And the other thing that is required by our bylaws is that we offer anyone who would like to look at the books to, if they would want to, we would encourage you, if you would like to do an audit. That invitation was also in that email. And if you are so inclined to endure that particular financial exercise, then you're welcome to. Please let me know. We're working on a section of the website to do something on a mushroom ID. That's a work in progress. It's up there now, but we haven't figured out exactly how to do that. We're kind of looking for ideas. And we talked about having a photography contest. So we may put that out there for later in the year. Of course, there's not many mushrooms out now. And we did a long discussion on our activities for 2021. So right now we're looking, as everyone else is what's going to happen. But we think probably in-person forays at some part, maybe even in April for morels. Something with culinary later in the year. We have an annual mushroom fair at Brookside Gardens, and then we have a weekend foray at Camp Sequoia. We already have that scheduled. We don't know if we're going to be able to do it. And we are contemplating, based on feedback, that once we do go back to the library, assuming we do, that we will continue to do streaming of some sort. So we'll have a Zoom presence at that time also. That's where we are with our planning for the future. A couple fungi in the news things that I found kind of interesting. The first one was sent by Dr. William Davis. He's one of our members. This is a Darwin Award. Should go out to this guy. He decided to inject mushroom tea into his veins. He spent 22 days in the hospital. Apparently it was growing in the ICU, by the way, for quite a long part of that. So the quote there, if you read it, the case underscores the need for ongoing public education regarding the dangers attendant to the use of this and other drugs. So you're supposed to, eat it, not. So if you, we have one of our members, the membership chair is going to do a trip to Tibet. Well, there's also, if you're interested in psilocybin mushrooms, you can go to Jamaica, where apparently they have a retreat there where you can consume them. That's an article in the Washington Post. The only other place that's advertised right now is the Netherlands offers something called psychedelic truffles. I'm not sure what those are. The third article is concerning, again, I always try and balance the medicinal psychedelic with the harmful side. Apparently, when you have wildfires, that tends to send bioaerosols, including fungi. And the CDC, and one of those is several of those, aspergillus and this coccidioidomycosis. I'm not sure I pronounced that right, but the CDC counts that as a firefighting hazard, as a potential disease. And then lastly, since lichens is our main subject tonight, there was another article in the Post about scientists seeking help using iNaturalist to find this lost lichen in Florida that they thought that identified in 1985. And anyway, so I have one more thing, which is a cartoon out of the New Yorker, which hopefully will set the mood for tonight. And I don't know if you can read that too well, but to read it to you, if you don't have any small children, you can substitute mushrooms. So notice they don't say that in reverse. So I guess that's the good thing. So I now am going to turn it over to Tom. Our program this evening is Summer Mushrooms by Ann Fluffberger. The Mushroom Table by Mitch Foray, some recent finds, and finally Lichens by Dr. Natalie Howe. And you'll notice the bumper sticker or Chiron, the year of the undemic. Hopefully we will get there.